What's going on? Welcome back to the podcast. It's your boy. I don't know why I was making that intro song, but okay. So, we've talked about a lot of information at this point here, and now I'm going to try to give some examples on how you can put that information into play. I've given you the key to emotional intelligence. How do we imply that key so that we can start seeing some form of results in whatever capacity we are wanting to see them? So, and we've dove into the understanding of the subconscious. So we understand that what we're working off of 90% of the time is our subconscious processes. So to flip and change those subconscious processes means we have to exist in the best frequency state that our brain is in to be able to go in and change those processes. Now, this is going to be, and I know some people might in their life not have meditated before, but this is in a meditative realm of practice, because the place where your brain is most susceptible to being able to absorb new information, to change what information already exists and change it around, basically unraveling the subconscious processes you have that you do not want to be living off of or that you want to get away from, being able to change anything. This is what we call theta. It is where you exist from ages 0 to 12. It's the place that you frequency exists. Like I say frequency exists, but you go through these brain frequencies even throughout a daily basis, right before you go to sleep. That place, realm of the subconscious, before you are in the deep sleep part of the subconscious, or in the REM sleep, as you would say, where you're experiencing lucid dreaming. This is where the brain is most susceptible to changing its patternization and also being able to approach things from a less emotional standpoint. Because when we are led by pure emotions, then we can't even try to lay out how we're going to tackle thoughts, ideas, or anything in the subconscious. So I'm going to lay out specifically. I'm not going to take you through the video, as this is something for you to follow along to. But I will give you the layout for it, because I feel like this is better set for the individual to pertain their own experience. Now, for the meditative practice, okay, I'm going to start with that one. There's a couple breathing techniques. It's really simple, and afterwards you just go right into just relaxing. You're going to take 3 total deep breaths. Hold them as long as you can. Then you're going to take 6 breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth like you're blowing at a candle. Then after that, you will just breathe through your nose, eyes closed the whole time. And once you get to the point where you are just breathing through your nose, relaxing, you're going to use a form of visualization, an attempt to bring a white room, and then bring all the previous versions of yourself into that room. Now, this is the place where manifestation can be said to be whatever you want it to be, at least if you are using it at the visual representation. However deep that actually is for you is entirely up to each individual's own perception. I can't really facilitate that, but do your best to get close towards the realm of visualization. If you don't get this deep or far enough with it, right, some people just aren't great at visualization. I would say do your best to try it and to try to put it together. I think all of us have the capabilities, but if you really keep falling far off from it, then utilizing this as a place to interact with your thoughts or interact with yourself, your inner self, and do whatever work you're wanting to do, whether it's words that need to be said, things you need to start being more aware of, things you need to start changing. This is where you plant the seeds. You know, once again, refer back to episode 1 of The Key of Conquering the Mind, right? This is where you can talk to yourself, start implying all of those things that need to be implied, but they actually can resonate, and they can start slowly, subconsciously taking the effects they need to, so over time, you can see the results that you're wanting to see. Now, with the visualization in this place, you can do anything. You can make the experience anything you want. Now, but there are some specifications, right? I usually say bring a white room to start, bring your previous selves in there. This is for trauma healing specifically, right? If you need to find a way to find peace and emotionally disconnect from certain specific places you have previously existed at, and you need to find a way to metal those out to just be a part of taking information from it in a positive way, you like learning experiences or whatever, and then no longer being emotionally bound by it so you can progressively move forward. Now, this also takes into account the motion of, as you would say, almost pseudo-scientifical representation, but everything is, anyone that can close their eyes right now can see, you can see white and black, right? Moving around. It's the energy. You see the energy moving. So in this exact same place of visualization where you're doing this, you have to remember that you are manipulating energy at its purest form here, right? So what that means is that if you are white, right? If you are a white figure, the room is white figured, there may be white dots, but the entities that you pulled in as the previous selves are black, then turn the black into white. Transform anything that is of dark stature into the light stature. Now, the universe works in the exact same capacity where there exists both negative and positive, not relative to what our human concept perceives as positive and negative, right? Something being good or bad, but just that is the practical law of how the universe is functioning, and that's all it sees, right? So with that being said, what you're experiencing internally in the subconscious is practically the same, right? It lives in either one delusional side of the spectrum or it doesn't. You either live inside of optimism and positivity, or you're going, or the mindset is usually based around the opposite, right? Because emotions breed us to have a presence in delusional rationale in some capacity, right? Hating yourself is just as delusional as boosting yourself as if you are the best or you are above people. And then there is this realm of practicality that does not bound emotional rationale to it, and you are evaluating from a whole different spectrum. And the whole point of going into the subconscious is to evaluate anything without having the emotional bias that we are tacked onto whenever we are trying to handle these things, but in a waking, conscious, facilitative moment. So that's when we have to actually take a step back and we have to actually dive into tackling what needs to change effectively when the time is right. Because trying to conquer your anger after you've just gotten angry over something does nothing for you, because what's kicking in are your subconscious processes. So what we're doing right now, or at any time outside of that happening, is planting the seeds so that when these subconscious processes come about for any type of negative stature, you have planted the opposite seeds so that the subconscious reaction either becomes, one, more in your favor, or it, two, reacts purely off of how you want it to react, right? And usually people that are subject to dealing with any amount of toxic behavior, you not only have to then also at the same time unlearn the survival tactics that you are subconsciously subjected to by having to live abiding by whatever toxic ventures were put in front of your face. So in whatever capacity that is, everyone's different. But if we're really going to go down the realm of self-help, because truly you are the only one that can give yourself the help that you want to give, you are the only one that can build and give the foundation to your self-worth, self-love, self-appreciation, positive reinforcement, whatever else that you need. You're the only one that can truly give that to yourself and it be effective, implementive, and can expand on itself. Some people can give you a push or try to kick you through the door, as you would say, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do with these videos, is kick you through the door to give you some type of foundation to walk on as you're trying to understand yourself, figure yourself out, expand more on who you already understand you are. And remember, that's what all of this should be, is understanding yourself, finding yourself, being aware, because awareness can then breed change if you want it to breed change out of that, right? But you have to be aware and you have to be honest. And the awareness and honest spectrum sit in the bubble outside of the emotional spectrum, right? We say spectrum is almost like, they're different layers because there technically is different layers. We exist through different layers. We exist naturally in 3 dimensions, technically through 4 dimensions at that same time. I'm not going to go too far into that topic in this video as far as dimensions, but you understand the premise of exactly what I'm talking about. If not, anyway. Visualization and doing this specifically, anything else I'm going to tell you to do would be in this exact same space, right? If you can't visualize, use your thoughts, dive into the thoughts, talk to yourself, have the unemotional attached conversations with the parts of you, plant subconscious seeds. This is your place, your time, your positioning to dive in to exactly the parts of you that you want to be aware of, the parts of you that you want to be different or that you don't want to be different, right? Or you just want to discover more about yourself, whatever, right? This is the place where you do all the stuff that you need and want to do. And outside of that, this one will be a little bit shorter just because this is very straightforward. But this is also the place you can take a breather in, you can relax in. You don't have to do the beginning part of it. You can always just close your eyes, breathe, and dive into the subconscious and do whatever the hell you want to do. It can be for 5 minutes, it can be for 5 hours, right? And do what you need to when you need to. But unfortunately, nobody can press a button. I can't press a button. It's just gonna change it to make it better. That's going to fix it in an instant. Everything takes time. The subconscious is all a process. It is all a neurological process in itself. And to unravel it, to unwind it, and to progress it, you're going to have to work on it over time. And if you're still on the fence at this point and you're watching this, not knowing if you can help yourself, you can. Anyone literally can. If you truly don't want it, I'm sorry. But I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink it. And I know that that's the classic cliche, but it really is how it is, right? I can show you the light at the end of the tunnel, but I can't make you walk to it. And so I hope, very much hope, anybody that comes across this sees and gets the progress out of it they're wanting. If you guys would like an actual follow alongable thing, I'm not really sure personally how long it should be, because when you are in those places, take the time that you need. It's entirely up to you, right? Whether it's the 15 minutes before you go to bed, or whether it's 3 hours, 2 hours on one specific off day that you want to dedicate to it, just fucking whatever, right? This is still and should be applicable to what you decide it should be, right? I'm just, once again, trying to give some decent guideline to dive into these places. But yeah, if there's any way that you would like me to expand on this, once again, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. For anything, I have no problem making more and more content, and I want to be able to help you guys if I can. I will be expanding this channel to more than just the information I have it right now. It's going to start getting into NFTs and some other stuff. I want to be able to open the free range on the podcast, but yeah. Expect many things, but hey, thank you guys so much for listening, for being here. You can do anything that you truly set your mind to and that you want to. So stay focused, be aware, be honest. Be honest with your fucking self. Stop lying to yourself. Stop. You even if you're saying you hate yourself, you stop lying to yourself. We all want to get to a better place. And it's not easy, but everyone has the capability to do it. So, you are what you think about. And on that note, I will catch you guys very soon in the next episode. Later.